Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Great Ace Attorney 2, Ryunosuke's Resolve. In our last episode, we started our case, and it's a closed case, there's no jury. Kazuma's the prosecution, and Barack is the guy in the stand. Talk about table turning. Counsel, you will submit the board that you just showed the court as evidence. I believe it to be fundamental in establishing the facts surrounding the Reaper's existence. Thank you, my lord. Alright. And now the prosecution would like to call new witnesses to the stand. Witnesses who saw events unfold on the day in question. They were mentioned in the previous testimony too, if you remember. Yes, the street sellers who heard the gunshot and went running into the room. Excuse me, wow. Very well, lead the witnesses in. The defendant may step down from the witness stand. Certainly, my lord. You look familiar. So, witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court. Names? We don't use names. Far too fancy for the likes of us. We're just free and easy. Sell what we like. Live where we want to live. I could give them all a vacant stare as they walk down Fresno and spin a few words into a verse for them. Ah. Would I be right in assuming that all three of you make your living by selling wares on the street? Everyone calls me gossip. I sell jaunty little tidbits to passers-by, you know. I think you're supposed to be some kind of walking reference to one of Sherlock Holmes' stories, the man with the twisted lip. Jaunty little tidbits. An absolute smasher for you, sir. Right up your Joe days. 6 pences a parson on a penny less. Wait, you're actually trying to sell it to me now? Oh, come on, sir. Don't tell me you're not interested. Try the man. Give him the money and see what it is. Pay the man, counsel. Alright, 6 pence it is. You won't regret it, sir. Now get your listening ears on. Just between us, a young couple on Slight Street have had twins. That's it. Is that it? No, that's not it. It's gossip, innit? It wants to spread. But that's a bit up to you and your mouth, of course. I got more, you know. Want another juicy one? 6 pence it is if you're curious. I am curious, yes, about what's going on just under that fat bottom lip of yours. Namely, that unusual bruise or whatever it is that's poking out from under your collar. Youch! That looks like strangulation. What about the next witness, then? What name do you go by, and what do you sell? Me, I'm Venus. That's what everyone calls me. Funny, innit? I sell these lovely little fireworks to all the local little school kids. That's dangerous. 6 pence a pop. What do you say? You weren't exaggerating with little. Do they actually sell? Oh yeah. The second years can't get enough of my Venus firecrackers. Especially when I tell them that if they get 100, that could blow up the school. Not the most savory of ideas, young lady. What do you say then, eh? Want a pop with 6 pence for a pop? Wait, what? You want me to buy one? Tell you what, I'll let you in on a little secret. If you get 100 of them, you can blow up the whole courtroom. No. Try the woman. Give her the money out. Pay the woman, counsel. This is gonna be a freaking pattern, isn't it? Alright, I'll buy one. Lovely stuff, right then. This is a bit extra, just for you. The Venus special, only 600 pence. That's a big one. It's 100 of my regular fireworks. Nothing little about that. Hang on. Ugh. There. And there'd be nothing little about the punishment if I blew up the Old Bailey either. Yeah, then they'd have to call you Guy Fawkes. The Venus firecracker has been entered into the court record. Good, good. And the last witness, what name do you go by and what do you sell? I'm gonna think, honey. Think all sorts of thoughts. I think, therefore I am, therefore I think. I think. Because I stand there on the street, watching the world go on about me. They call me the observator. Yeah, old man, everyone calls you Sandwich and you know it. So you don't actually sell anything. A problem shared is a problem halved, as they say. I give advice, I do, and I think what it means. I don't actually sell anything. No, come to think of it. Pity. No more purchases today, please. Well, we have quite a cast here, it seems. They conduct their business on Fresno Street from morning until night, my lord. And always in the same place, directly adjacent to the crime scene. I see. Unless they heard the gunshot, I suppose. Not only that, but they very bravely ran inside to see what was going on and witnessed the crime. I'll be back at our thought, just between us. Venus del Milo, what am I to do? What a terrible thing I saw. What I think is, what we see is light and shadow playing with our eyes. Is any of it real? Very well. Court will hear the formal testimony of these three witnesses now. You will describe in detail what you witnessed and heard at the time of the incident. The witness's account. We saw the whole thing from start to finish, we did. Everything from the moment they went in the building. It was less than a minute after the Reaper had gone inside that we all heard a big bang. It seems to be me that quick to talk is quick to walk. Cause I couldn't wait to go and see what happened. I ran into the room and there was the Reaper, gun in hand, stemming over the dead body. I was scared after death, mate, so I ran off to find a copper. If these witnesses were here the whole day and saw everything, who did they see going inside the building? Only the victim, Inspector Gregson, and the accused, Barack Van Zeeks. I've seen pictures of that Reaper in the paper. I know what it looks like. It's just between us. Folks know stories like this. I made myself a tidy sum already. The room was just one of several flats in the building. Someone from another flat could have done it. All those flats on Fresno Street are unoccupied. Garcia, they're small, damp, dirty, and expensive to boot. Just like the housing crisis here. Okay, it's not crisis, but everything is frickin' expensive. The room in which the inspector was found is the only property in the building that's currently leased. And we know the leaseholder's name, don't we? It's Hugh Boone. The testimony the court has just heard would appear to leave little room for doubt. It's becoming increasingly difficult to see how anyone other than the defendant could have committed the crime. No. Thank you for your candor, my lord. Counsel for the defense, you may proceed to cross-examine the witness. Yes, my lord. In a closed court like this without a jury, the judge is the only person whose opinion matters. I have to break down this testimony. Somehow. Hey, it can't be that harder than trying to find an Abra in Arceus. Tried to do that. It saw me, and of course it teleported away. Shit. Here's how the whole thing from start to finish we did. Everything from the moment I went in the building. Oh, really? Well, let's just see about that.
Hold it!
When you say they, who did you mean exactly? Inspector Gregson and the defendant, Lord Van Zieks? I suppose so. The likes of us don't know the names of the high and mighty. But I'll tell you one thing. It was the old Reaper that went in the last, that's for certain. Just behind the Inspector Gregson. They arrive at the same time as each other. No, not at all. The first fella must have gone and shot a good 15 minutes before we heard that gunshot. The victim arrived 15 minutes before. Are you sure about that? Am I sure? Am I sure? Doesn't it seem likely I'd have forgotten a fellow with bright red hair like that, does it? Yeah, his hair really were red, wasn't it? Redder than my flaming fireworks, even. That fiery red mark still burnt on the inside of my eyelids, it is. Wait a minute, you're saying the man was a redhead. What are you listening, chap? Oh, he was a redhead. I need a big trunk with him as well. But Inspector Gregson's hair isn't red. Not by any stretch of the imagination. It seems likely the person you saw wasn't, in fact, Inspector Gregson at all, but some other third party. No, I hate to break it to you, but the witnesses are correct. Because he had the red. But he doesn't have a trunk, so it can't have been him. Yeah, that's Inspector Gregson, alright. And a red hairpiece. Of course, we saw one on the floor when we investigated the scene, didn't we? I still refuse to believe that Gregson wore the hairpiece, though. So then why on earth would he have been wearing something like that, then? Color does seem to suit the man. One might say. A photograph will be submitted as evidence. Please, counsel. What became of the trunk that the red-headed victim was supposedly carrying? I was informed that no trunk was found at the scene, so it just disappeared. Well, you expect us to have been watching the building every second, do you? We definitely saw him in the dock going in, though. No question about that. It was less than a minute after the Reaper had gone inside we all heard a big bang. It seemed to me that quick talk is quick to walk. Thus I couldn't wait to go and see what happened. I ran into the room and there was the Reaper, gun in hand, standing over the dead body. You know what? Before I do this... examine this. Fuse. Have you had an idea, Mr. Naruhodo? You're staring at the end of a string of fireworks. Sorry, it's just that it's the Venus Special. I was wondering what 600 pence worth of fireworks would sound like. Shall we find out? But he said he could blow up the courtroom. It sounds like a gunshot. Alright, that was a fairly sizable bang. My ears are still ringing, Mr. Naruhodo. It sounded almost exactly like a gunshot. Oh, really? So then, you were the first person to arrive on the scene. I was. I kicked the door open like a professional I did and yelled out, "What's going on there?" Lord Van Zeeks claimed that all that heard was a man's scream, though. And was it dark inside the room? Oh no, not dark at all. There were candles burning on the wall. Really? And there was a fella collapsed on the floor. Just between us, it was the first thing I noticed when I got inside. I see. Even though Lord Van Zeeks claims not to have seen any such lights on the wall. Next thing I noticed was someone standing right beside the body. The accused Barack Van Zeeks. That's right, a ill-faced Reaper himself. I was a little shocked, I won't deny it. I'm no little coward. I stood my ground and gave that Reaper a cold hard. Oh, what have you got?
Excuse me.
Alright, Mr. Sandwich. Do you have something to add, Mr. Sandwich? There's really nothing to me. Empty in the head I am. Just 2 slices with no meat. So I don't know what you could want with me. I think that maybe you just remembered something. Having heard Mr. Gossip's last statement, I mean. What I think is, we are nothings really. We tried to dress ourselves up as something else, but at the end of the day, we're all just street suckers. That's enough out of you, Sandwich. Keep your trap shut now. Unless you want us to make you into a real sandwich. When he saw the Reaper, he fell clean over on his backside. That's it? Oh, you rotten beggar! I told you to keep that a secret. He screamed, he did. Screamed and scrambled off on all fours. That's all I wanted to say. Mr. Gossip, is this true? The floor's dead slippery, that's why. I planted my hand down a filthy pool of blood, didn't I? Yuck! A pool of blood? But listen here, even though I was sprawled on the floor, I still kept giving that Reaper a cold hard stare. And aren't you forgetting? Let's go back a little. Did you say you got blood on your hands? I did. It happens to best of us at times, doesn't it? So we're scared. So I slipped over. We can keep it between us, can't we? No, Mr. Gossip. I'm going to have to ask you to add that information to your formal testimony. Oh, if I must. The witness will amend his testimony to include the aforementioned details at once. Alrighty. Let's see what we've got here. Oh? There's a handprint there. Mr. Naruhodo, look! It's a smudge of some kind. In fact, it looks just like a handprint. And the color, that's blood, isn't it? Oh dear, how disturbing. Alrighty, we've got that. I slept over and got blood on my hand, so I quickly wiped it off on the floor. I don't think so.
Objection.
So you wiped off the blood from your hand on the floor of the room. Are you quite sure about that? Well, what else do you expect me to have done, eh? Does it really matter?
Objection.
The police found no such handprint on the floor during their investigations. What exactly is the defense asserting?
Objection.
If you listen, you'll find out, Prosecutor Asogi. Certainly, there was no bloody handprint found on the floor. What are you trying to say? There was a handprint and blood left very clearly at the scene. On the back of this notice board. Oh yes, indeed. Undisputably a handprint in the distinctive color of blood. Hey, you're dead right. That's me right hand. I'd know it anywhere. We'll leave that be.
Objection.
A witness very definitely testified he wiped his hand on the floor. Any handprint on the back of the board are irrelevant.
Objection.
Not if the board itself had fallen over onto the floor. In that case, it's quite possible for the witness's handprint to have ended up there. Just look at the floor plan of the room. The notice board was in the opposite corner of the room of the victim and in an upright position. Even if it had somehow been toppled and was lying on the floor at the time, it would have been a considerable distance from the body. I fell over when I came across the body. So I was basically right next to the corpse, on the other side of the room. In other words, the defense's assertion is contradictory. Yes, it is. There is a very definite contradiction here, for which there must be a reason. I take it you formulated a proper hypothesis, counsel. Yeah, the board moved. Regarding this apparent discrepancy between the witness's account and the handprint found at the scene, I have, my lord. The discrepancy between the witness's account and the location of the handprint is explained by the board moving. The real contradiction here is the handprint itself, not where it was found. As the court can see, it's upside down. Good gracious, so it is. If the witness had put his hand against the board, the finger should be pointing upwards. What does that tell us? It tells one simple fact. When his handprint was made, the board must have been lying on the floor as previously suggested, which means that after the incident, it must have been moved. What?
Objection.
You're claiming that somebody moved the notice board after the shooting. Then tell the court who. I don't know that yet, but the point is, when you consider all the testimony we've heard so far, we can now be clear on one point, and that would be the position of the notice board at the time of the incident, my lord. So, counsel, I must ask you to clarify your assertion for the court. At the time of the incident, where do you maintain the notice board was? Right here.
Take that.
This is the only possible location. Immediately adjacent to the doorway. If the court would think back to the testimony given by the defendant earlier, he said that when he entered the room, it was dark, mind that he couldn't see the body. Back! If the notice board had been there, the body would have been completely hidden from view, and the light from the candles would have been blocked, making the room appear darker.
Objection.
But the accused also claims that the victim's body simply appeared before him. That's true. Or in his precise words, just as I picked the firearm up to examine it, the door flew open and I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me. So basically the door knocked over the board. I don't know about calling it a scream, but he was talking about me and no mistake. 'Cause it was me that kicked the door open. If you look again at the floor plan, consider what would happen if the door to the room was thrown open with force. That can't. The door struck the notice board, knocking it over, and making the victim's body visible. Good gracious. My client has told nothing but the truth. He had simply described what he saw. Counsel, how has this not come to light before now? After the incident, somebody must have righted the board and moved it into the position where the police, myself, and my colleagues saw it when investigating the room. Witness, what have you to say for yourself? I, my lord. You and your fellows were there at the scene before anybody else. It goes without saying that you must know something about the position of the notice board. The witnesses and the stand will testify again. You will each explain exactly what you did upon arriving at the scene of the crime. Hey, stop looking out of your glasses at me. I'll get the message. Mystery of the moving board. I don't know anything about that notice board. I want my hands on it, that's all. Well, don't look at me. I haven't got a clue about it. I was doing business with some second years at the time. I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, me. Just a sign at the crossroads of life. It was a reaper, I'll bet. He's got a face that screams bored. I can't see how this changes anything anyway. The detective still died when he heard the gunshot. None of you can elaborate further. Shaken by the crime they witnessed, and with only the light of a few candles and an oil lamp by which to see, we can't expect these witnesses to be able to give a more precise account of what happened. That's right, yeah. It don't pay to expect too much. It demands endless quest for knowledge that's destroying the world. That's what I think. A regular Prometheus you are. Do you, really? In any case, as this testimony shows, even if the notice board was moved by somebody following the incident, it makes no difference. When the gunshot rang out, the accused was the only person at the scene. In short, the only person who could possibly have committed this crime is Barack Van Zieks. None of this wrangling over the board changes that simple fact. Quite so, quite so. Does the defense still wish to cross-examine the witnesses despite the circumstances? Most certainly, my lord. Very well, then you may proceed, counsel. Alright. Alrighty. Well, don't look at me. I haven't got a clue about it. I was doing business with some second years at the time.
Hold it!
When you say you were doing business with them, you mean you were selling them fireworks? Yeah, what else? There's a primary school just around the corner, see? Those cheeky little so-and-sos have got a plan to blow up their school to Kingdom Come. Ha! So I've been telling on them, letting the teachers know what they're up to. Oh, so you have? Yeah, wouldn't want anyone to get hurt, so I let the school know the kids are playing with dodgy toys. Then, praise the Lord, the teachers take all the fireworks off them. And then, praise the Lord again, the kids all come back to buy more. Everyone's happy, see? What a racket. Of course, and sometimes the teachers give me a little bonus thanks to me letting them know. It's a busy old life selling explosives. Venus is a guileful goddess indeed. Well, telling barefaced lies isn't my kind of thing, really. Hey, careful! Don't throw that at me. Yeah, take an eye out.
Excuse me.
Something wrong, Mr. Sandwich? If I said it was, could we just leave it at that? Would that be the end of it? No. This is a court of law. Did Miss Venus's statement just bring something to mind, perhaps? Philosophical thoughts. Deep philosophical thoughts. Let's say there was a great liar. And that great liar said without batting an eye, "Telling barefaced lies is my kind of thing. I'm ever so good at it." Would those words of hers be a lie too, or the truth? In which case, she's not a liar. Ugh, it's a hellish paradox, that one, don't you think? I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. But it seems to me you're suggesting Miss Venus has been lying, are you? What are you on about, old man? Trying to cause trouble, are you? Keep on like that, and I'll wrap your whole body in firecrackers and set 'em off. That'll give you something to tremble about. You're a startlingly disturbing mind behind that sweet and innocent face, young lady. So Miss Venus has lied in her testimony, and we will get to that next time.